What's going on with all my money motivated stars? Now this video gonna be about the incident that happened on Christmas Eve with the 14-year-old and the 15-year-old. So if you don't know, it's the story that's going around that happened. I think it happened in Tampa Bay, Florida. You know what I mean? Where these people driving so crazy. Where two siblings was arguing, bickering over Christmas gifts. You know what I mean? The 15-year-old was mad at the 14-year-old for getting more gifts than him. So they was arguing back and forth. And they had a 23-year-old sister who had two children, you know what I mean, who came in and tried to de-escalate the situation. So when it came down to it, the 14-year-old, the youngest, ended up shooting the 23-year-old sister and killing her, you know what I mean? And the 15-year-old ended up going to grab a gun to shoot the 14-year-old that shot his sister. You know what I mean? This is crazy. It's like a massacre going on in the house of family members hurting each other, shooting each other. You know what I mean? This is a crazy story, you know? And I feel like it's gonna get a lot of attention. I didn't seen a couple people talking about it. I didn't seen like the title, but I wasn't going to report on it because I just don't really go to like trending stuff sometimes. I overheard this story on the news, which made me go, I was like, okay, this is what everybody's talking about. This all the posts that I seen, you know what I mean, on social media. So when it comes down to it, I'm gonna give my honest opinion on the situation, you know what I mean? I'm gonna try to make this very quick. There's so many points I can touch on, you know what I mean? When it comes down to it, man, yes, I do blame the children, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean, for their actions, you know? But when it comes down to it, we living in a society where young adults are growing up and they can't control their anger. You know what I mean? Let's start from when we was growing up, you know? Me being in my 30s and before that, people in their 40s, they didn't teach us how to control our anger either in school. You know what I mean? They didn't teach us nothing important when it came to, you know what I'm saying, spiritual benefits, like being able to emotionally conduct yourself in a environment, you know what I mean? Let alone the home. They broke up the families when it came down to it. I'm not even getting to that, you know what I'm saying? I'm going too deep, you know what I mean? But when it comes down to it, a lot of us didn't have emotional control when we was young, you know what I mean? But so I can't even say I didn't fight my siblings, you know what I mean? Me and my brother, we grew up, we was close. We fought sometimes, not all the time. We wasn't fighting like that, but I can name like on one hand how many times we got to fight. But we grew up, that's from like birth since, you know what I'm saying, to now. I can count on one hand how many times we got to fight. You know what I mean? We didn't go grab weapons. We didn't go do a lot of these things that these young adults are doing now, these children are doing now, because we got to stop placing tablets and stop. It should be an age limit on when you let your child view a tablet or view certain type of entertainment. You know what I mean? Yes, it's going to be some times where they view stuff and it's going to be out of your control. I'm not talking about those times. But we have to start monitoring what these children watch. You know what I mean? A lot of this is happening because of neglected children. You know what I mean? Whether the parent is trying to neglect the child or whether the parent has so many jobs they can't even be at home with their children like that because they're trying to provide. You know what I mean? Especially if it's a single parent home. But when it comes down to it, man, this is what's going on, man. A lot of people are just working. A lot of children, a lot of grown adults are working strictly off damage, you know what I mean? Trauma, you know what I mean? The lack of love. They arguing over who got the most presents, you know what I mean? And I don't know what the situation was with the mother, but you know, you really can't do that when it comes to children. You can't show one child more love than the other child because that's going to cause resentment and sibling rivalry. But then on the other hand, I got to be both sides because I don't know if he was doing bad in school and the other one was doing well, so she decided to gift him with more presents. You know what I mean? That's how it goes. Because it happened like that happened to me before. You know what I mean? I was acting up at school and my sister rewarded my brother better than she did me. You know what I mean? And that was all teach a lesson. But you can't teach a child growing up in today's society that type of lesson because they got access to guns like they got access to chewing gum. They can just go in there and get it and pop it. Like, for real. And it's crazy that these young dudes are growing up with easy access. I can't even say nothing because me growing up, you know what I mean? I done seen people growing up my age had pistols at an early age, you know what I mean? So I can say one thing, we were more responsible, you know what I mean? We didn't take our anger out on our siblings or so-called enemy just because we was mad or angry. It's like we had a lot of more emotional control, but the people, the youth that's growing up under us, it's getting worse, it's getting worse, it's getting worse. You know what I mean? Like I said, not only epigenetics getting passed down, a load of trauma, you know what I mean? Just coming into this so-called life of sin, you know what I mean? You're getting passed down the genetics and the genetic makeup of your parents and our ancestors. We just got a lot of built up anger, you know what I mean, from past generations on top of the new anger that setting in for the child alone, you know what I mean? So it's just baggage on top of baggage on top of baggage. If the trauma didn't get healed with our ancestors, and it's still getting passed down to us, and we still having traumas that we gotta face on a day-to-day basis, it's only gonna, you know what I'm saying, like pressure, gonna bust the pipes. So there's just a lot of pressure going into these youth, you know what I mean? So when it comes down to it, you can't really blame them, you know what I mean? Because it starts with the parents, and it starts with the trauma, then it starts with the parents, then it starts with the children and what they are viewing, you know what I mean? So you can't really say, they need to be locked up forever, you know what I mean? They really don't need to be locked up forever. They are being guided this way, you know what I mean? You cannot blame somebody who's being guided this way, because if you thinking right now, what would make them do that? I mean, you were raised probably more better than them, you know what I mean? We was raised in a different generation. It's probably a lot of 15-year-olds that was their age and saying, I wouldn't do that, you know what I mean? But like I said, different strokes for different folks. People grow up in different households. It's some children I know grew up, you know what I mean, who parents was barely there, you know what I mean, like dead ass. So they had access to smoking weed, doing this at an early age. So like I said, you never know the type of environment or the household that this person is growing up in. Because a lot of people say, well, I grew up in the environment too, I ain't do this. Like I said, did you grow up in the exact same household? And sometimes it's rare where you would have a whole family member, they ghetto hood and all that, and they shooting dice, they selling weed and all that. But then you would have that one sibling that take his ass off to college. That's rare though, you know what I mean? And it's all about your soul. We got a lot of different souls. Some souls are new coming to this planet. Some souls are old. So the older souls, they pretty much know how to maneuver in this world, in the matrix, better than a new soul coming. You know what I mean? So when it comes down to it, it's a spiritual battle going on. And we got to blame, even before the trauma, you know what I mean? Like, who brought this trauma on? Like the people who made these guns and put them into the neighborhood. We did not make these guns and push them in our neighborhood. We did not build these corner stores and put them in our neighborhood. We did not build these liquor stores and put them in our neighborhood. Our whole environment is built on us to self-destruct. So when we start seeing our people self-destruct, who can we blame? You know what I mean? We can blame each other now because we have the technology and the knowledge to know what's going on. But it's been passed on to people, you know what I mean, pushing this in our environment, pushing the agenda towards our people. You know what I mean? So when it comes down to it, now that we know better, we have to do better. We have to start, you know what I mean, talking to our friends more, especially if you're growing up in a better household than your friend. If you know he going through struggle, man, be there for your friend. You know what I mean? If you be there for your girlfriend, be there for your boyfriend. You know what I mean? If you see what kind of household people are growing up in, you know what I mean? Try to help people out and let people know that they have somebody in their corner so they won't crash out. Because only time people crash out was when they feel like they have nothing to lose, or if they just have severe anger problems and they just snap at any moment. You know what I mean? That's what they doing, man. It's just like these social media sites, TikTok. Motherfucker gonna right, like snap real quick. You know what I mean? They just building people's attention span shorter. So now you can't even help. Sometimes the person won't even feel like holding a conversation because they brain to blank out because they so used to communicating for 1 minute. You know what I mean? Because we just talked about communication the other day. And this minute, I ain't trying to make this video too long, but I just had to talk about a lot of stuff. I ain't gonna make it too long for just gonna end it here. But man, yeah, man, we gotta start doing better. You know what I mean? And it starts in the household, as you can see. You know what I mean? That argument started in the household, and now it's down there. You know what I'm saying? Nationwide, a lot of people talking about it. You know what I'm saying? Who ain't even in this? Who ain't from the city or the state? You know what I mean? Just like me, I'm not from there, but I'm talking about it. It starts in the household. So if you can do the best you can in your household, that's where it starts, man. And then these kids are gonna go out into the world with a different mindset because they've been taught a certain type of way how to maneuver. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people, a lot of children would behave a lot differently if they knew the plot that was against us. You know what I mean? All they know is the basics. We went through slavery, the white man, white man, white man. That's all they say. You know what I mean? That's the only thing that go on. You gotta break down the generational things that's been going on. You know what I mean? Because it goes beyond the so-called white man. You know what I mean? Like I said, this is a galactic thing. This is a spiritual thing. And a lot of people are being manipulated with these two. They're not using this. They're not using this. You know what I mean? It goes way beyond. So a lot of people have to do they do their research on their history. You know what I mean? Trump said that years ago. If black people don't tap into their history, they're gonna be put back in slavery. You know what I mean? I don't see that coming because I'm not gonna be no motherfucking slave. Now, we slaves now, but I'm not gonna be the type of slave that my ancestors were. I'm sorry, you know what I mean? We're gonna have to go out with a bang. Like, for real. But a lot of people need to just do their research, man. Start tapping in more. Like I said, I can't stress eating habits. You know what I'm saying? Enough. Like I said, man. Like I said, these corner stores in our hood, junk food. You're gonna think junk. You know what I mean? You're not gonna make smart decisions when you're not eating smart food. We're eating dumb food. And it's dumbing down the consciousness of the planet. You know what I mean? Like I said, a lot of us, we had grandmas growing up that had gardens and gave us mangoes and all that. You gotta realize a lot of these babies and children growing up now, they Skittle babies, they hot Cheeto babies, they honey bun babies with cheese on it, they noodle babies. They was fucked up from the jump. You know what I mean? So when it come down to it, man, a lot of children ain't getting home cooked meals. You know what I mean? So you got to realize what vibration they are functioning on for them to do the things that they are doing. So you can't really put judgment on them because what are human bodies going to do when they're seeing junk, hearing junk, music, eating junk? So they're going to feel junk vibration, environment, junk. You know what I mean? So when it come down to it, man, we gotta start doing better. Start watching more enlightening videos. Start participating in more enlightening activities, and start enlightening the people who we feel like aren't enlightening. The ones who want to hear, you know what I mean? It's gonna be kind of rough trying to get, you know what I'm saying, into the youth, you know. But hey, it's some young ones out here that's gonna listen. I'm telling you, I see it every day. It's a couple of them I done got a hold to. You know what I mean? So don't say it's not possible. You know, it's all about how you think, you know what I'm saying, it's gonna go down. But like I said, it's a battle to be won, you know what I mean? It's a war is being fought, you know. And when it come down to it, I ain't talking about no guys, they ain't talking about none of the stuff they showing on TV. I'm talking about the stuff that you can't see, the stuff that's beyond the veil. You know what I mean? The stuff that you gotta feel on an energetic level. Because, man, they whooping ass right now, man. For real. But like I said, we still up there too, because like I said, you got people like me, you got people like Brother Yaki who working against these people, telling people to eat healthy. Bobby Price, like I said, Dr. Phil Valentine, Dr. Deborah Blair, people like that. You know what I mean? We got people out there, you know what I'm saying, on side too. I can't ignore the people who doing, they just do. You know what I mean? They doing what they need to do. We can't ignore that and say like, oh, this evil is going on and no positivity is being spread. It's most definitely getting spread on this channel. You know what I mean? Y'all sharing my message. A lot of folks sharing other people's message who they rocking with. You know what I mean? They found their soul tribe and that's what they doing. But when it comes down to a situation like this, we gotta speak on it. We gotta elaborate on what needs to be done. You know what I mean? And just start from there. Build up from your family. You know what I'm saying? Build up from your neighborhood. You know, everybody in the neighborhood ain't gonna want to get with it. You know what I'm saying? But some will. You can notice the ones who will. You know what I mean? It's about having discernment. If you ain't got no discernment, then you don't need to be trying to talk to nobody. First of all, you need to get right with yourself. Get your discernment level up so you'll know who to approach and who not to approach, because your ass will get your ass killed. You know what I'm saying? Trying to change the wrong person. Hence the why people die in relationships. They have no discernment on who they dealing with. You gotta have discernment on even your siblings. You know what I mean? Know what siblings to talk to, know what siblings not to talk to. Because certain siblings you just cannot talk to. But y'all can learn to coexist. You know what I mean? Because some people just have bad spirits. A lot of people have things that have been done to them that they haven't shook off. You know what I mean? And you may not be a person that you can shake that off. You know what I mean? They may have to come across another loved one or female that they love. You know what I mean? That, oh, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? But like I said, have discernment to know who to approach and know who to talk to. You know what I mean? But like I said, I made this video long enough. But man, y'all make sure y'all hit the like button on this. Y'all make sure y'all hit the notification bell so you be notified every time I post a video. Y'all make sure y'all share this video. Y'all make sure y'all be blessed and walk in this smoke.